Hey everyone, it's Fran from Travis. May the rock be with you.
All right.
Hi,
G'day, friend.
hi
How are you, mate?
Troy. Good man, how are you?
I'm excellent. It's great to talk to you again.
I know it's been what? When did we last speak? 2020?
Yeah, well, I like to always start my interviews this way. So we last spoke 5 years ago. It was a Skype chat. And I remember you were like, no, put your camera on. Well, it's good to talk to people. We're both sitting there in disheveled, comfy clothes in the middle of COVID. We had a really good chat. But I always like to do this. It has been 5 years, so let's catch up. How have the last 5 years been for you?
The last 5 years have been they've gone very fast. Everyone, I think once COVID was out of the way, those 2.5, whatever, well, I think for bands anyway, it was about 3 years where everyone just couldn't do anything. So uh, everyone was just doing home stuff. Well, we promoted the record in 2020, but we couldn't tour it. So I pretty much was writing and being a dad.
Mm.
And now, just in, when was it? 4 weeks ago, we dropped Clay at college, at art school. And so he's off. So the house is quiet, everything is still. But before that, it was, parenthood and madness. But it's been fine. It's been good. And you?
Yeah, pretty good, actually. You get past the stuff and you move on. You go back to office, you go back to work. And I hate it when people ask me because I never know an answer. So, yeah. No, but it's been good, man. It's good. And it's good to be able to still be doing this. So it's always great to
Cool.
be able to enjoy talking to people like yourself.
Ah, thanks, man. You
No worries.
too. It's this
Hey,
is
look.
this is my this is my therapy.
Yeah,
Like
there you go.
when you sit down to interviews, because I was just sitting before you came on, and I was thinking, oh God, I've not done an interview in about a year. Like so. If I'm slow on the pickup, then please forgive me.
All good, mate. The best news is, though, you're finally heading back to Australia to celebrate the man who. Now, can you give us an idea on what fans can expect at these shows and how they're going to be structured?
All right. Well, we did the Man Who live album in the UK. We toured it, and I we've been talking about ways in which to present it, and I've realized I think a lot of our show, like our show's in two parts. You've got the songs, and then you've got like the bit between the songs, and I think rather than because when we played it in the UK, we just played it like a record, and uh and that was cool. It was great, and but I think there's more sort of juice in it, like we didn't really squeeze the juice out of it properly. So Andy Dunlop, our guitarist, and we did a tour of America in 2010 called uh, an acoustical journey or something. What was it again? Chronological acoustical journey, and it was like all the songs, pretty much like the main songs,
Hmm.
and it was a really long show though. But the presentation was a PowerPoint, which is like to talk about the songs in a sort of presentation way.
Wow.
So that's the idea. I think I'm getting it together at the moment. Is going to be sort of the idea is to play the songs, but also give everyone an idea of where the songs came from, and give a sort of visual representation of that. And that's the first half of the show. So we'll go through the songs, and I don't even know if we'll do them in the order that they're in the album, because I feel like it's. I mean, the order's the order, but if you start to talk about it, certain songs connect with other songs more meaningfully than they do if the way they're set up on the record. So that the structure as far as the how the songs are placed, I don't know yet, but it should be kind of different for an audience to sort of. It's more of a. It's got the performance part of it. You hear the songs, we'll play them live, but there's also this other storytelling part that is really lovely. And so
Yeah.
that's the first half of the show. Second half of the show is just all of the songs that are not on the Man Who, that are kind of like fan favorites, and so we'll be playing those as well.
Yeah, great. I just can't. It's going to be amazing. You're playing a song and you got your clicker to the next slide. For this is
Yeah,
this is about sing and this is about.
yeah. It's like we when we did the tour in the States, it was like and nobody done that
No,
ever.
that's
I hadn't
great.
seen that before.
Yeah.
And then a guy called Peter Asher, who's a friend of ours, came to see it, and then he took the idea and did his show the same way a couple of years after that. And I
Hmm.
believe Bruce Springsteen took Peter's idea, which was our idea, and did it on Broadway. So it's got legs, I think,
Wow,
and
that's
it's
amazing.
lovely. I think it's nice just to see it in a completely different way. I'm really bored of going to see bands, and it's always the same thing. It's just like, oh my God, like more lights, more not much talk between songs, and it's like I think we've Travis have always had a little bit more around the edges.
I can't wait to see that. Now, when you've not been to a country for 25 years, Fran, and with 7 albums we've not heard live, is there an
Yeah,
essence of starting all over again or feeling like it's the first time here and that excitement of winning over a crowd again?
oh, that's a good question. To be honest, I mean, I got to be really honest. I every single show that I do that we do, I almost like do a sorry after every show you sort of start all over again. You sort of reset.
Hmm.
So no matter where we play, it always feels like we're doing it not for the first time, but just it's. I treat it like it's the first and last show all the time. Um, yeah, it's been. I'm pissed off that it's been so long. We our old manager just wouldn't. He was just like, "Oh, it's not worth going there," and we were always like, "What?"
Hmm.
And he stopped bringing us to America as well, and we were like, "Come on, man, like because it doesn't, make money type of thing." And it's like, well, there's a little bit more to the relationship between uh, a, your people who like your music and a band than coming over and making money. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
It's a deeper relationship, but I, again, like it takes a long time for shit kickers from Glasgow to realize that we're actually in control of our own destiny now. Now that we've moved on from that relationship, we're doing things like this. We came back to America last year for the first time in 14 years,
Wow.
which is ridiculous. And it's been we've had this sort of lovely renaissance, and I mean we're just when we heard about uh, the idea or new manager and agent and us, we were like, where can we go? And one of them was America, and it was coming to you guys as well. So I'm made up. Everyone's excited.
Good. We can't wait. Now, I want to jump back to 2001 when you were first here. What, if anything, do you remember about that first couple of shows you did here?
I remember we came and it was in the middle of your winter, and it was like we had. I remember we just had been in. I think we were actually in California. We got on the plane and it was boiling hot, and then we came over because, and it's Australia. We're like, yeah, and it was raining. And I'm like,
It
what?
does that.
What? Yeah, and but it was great. It was very interesting because I like so at the moment I live in LA, and I feel LA is like the edge of the world. Yeah, I
Mm.
got like when I wake up, London's going to sort of finish the day almost, and I feel nicely removed from a lot of stuff. Uh, and so coming to Australia as well, I felt like this place is like a whole other. It's like a whole other vibe. It's like a whole other what's the word, biorhythm or whatever it is. Everyone's very funny, very well, not British, but do you know what I mean? Like the
Yeah.
humor was. I felt there was a lot of touchstones that were very similar to Scotland to the UK, and we didn't weirdly didn't we felt very at home because it was pissing with rain, but more than that, more than that, it was everywhere we went and all the people we met and interviews we did felt very familiar. It was very cool.
Excellent. Well, you got a few more days here this time rather than just 2 shows, so you can see a
I
little bit more of the
know.
country. So
I can't wait.
it's going to be
Yeah.
fun. Now, let's jump back to 1999 when you released The Man Who. What's your
Yeah.
fondest memory of when it took off for the band?
There's a few little moments. One is in the studio when we were in a studio in Primrose Hill called Mayfair Studios with Nigel, and I'd just written Driftwood, and we again it was you go in and you've got a song and acoustic guitar, and we did it. And I remember hearing it for the first time, coming back into the room and listening to that song and going, oh. And it was a sort of pivotal moment of the record because the record's quite a quiet,
Mm,
gentle, but that one slightly more up tempo. But I think it's one of the best songs on the album, and it definitely uh, it, whatever that was in the mix changed, like really raised the game of the record, and so other songs started to make sense that
mm.
hadn't really made sense before. That was one moment that I remember going, "Oh my god, this is now it feels much more like it could maybe be a good record." And then second one was bringing the record out and laying out we got all the reviews in, and they were all shit. Every one of them. We got like it was horrible. It was like a spinal tap moment. Um, and there was this other time where we get interviewed by a guy from the NME, uh, and at the end of the interview, stopped the interview, and he's like, "I really love the record, guys, but this is commercial suicide." And we're like, "What?" And he's going, "I mean, it's not Britpop. It's not, it's totally, it just doesn't fit." And so we were like, "No." And then the reviews were like, "Oh, fuck." And of course there was this insane moment. We played Glastonbury on the other stage, and we it was like 4 o'clock, and all day we'd been doing interviews, and it was a beautiful sunny day, and I was jokingly saying, "Oh, it's going to rain, it's going to rain," and there's no chance of rain at all. It was blue skies, and we went on stage, played the gig, and it's when we played Rain, it started to rain.
No
And
way.
yeah, and I remember looking at the audience, and they were all like sodden wet, looking at us, and they just looked really upset that it was. They were all in their summer clothes and dripping wet, and we finished the gig and went off stage. And remember, like the roadies and everyone going, "Oh, almost like better luck next year, guys." And we were like, our we're getting ready to get in the bus and go back to Glasgow because we'd all moved out to London. We're going to make it, and that was almost like it felt like the end. And got in the bus, went back to London, and then when we got back, it was about 9 o'clock at night. I switched the telly on and sat back in the sofa, and as I was walking back to the sofa, I heard my name coming out the telly, and I was like, "What?" That I didn't. It was weird. It was like I thought I heard something, so I turned around and looked, and there was John Peel and Joe Wiley, these DJs at radio, BBC Radio, and they sort of present the TV thing of Glastonbury, and they're like, "Oh, Travis, the band of the festival, blah blah," and
Mm,
I'm like, "What?" Honestly, the gig, I was like, we were convinced we played the worst show of our lives. Then
wow.
they played she's like, "Let's have a look," and they played a clip of us playing. I don't know, All I Want to Do Is Rock, and I was like, "Wow, it is good." It could have. I thought it was terrible, but it was actually a good. We looked like we were really doing the business, and that was the beginning of the beginning. It kind of went like I think 6 weeks after that album that had been dropping down the charts for like sort of went in at 10 and sort of fell away. It started to climb back up the charts, and within I think 6 weeks, it was at number
All
one.
because of rain. All because of
All
living
because it is.
rain.
It's kind of cool. It's like an act of God.
Yeah, outstanding. Hey, now back in 2020, you just done 10 songs, and last
Yeah.
year you released LA Times. So, How, if in any way, did the events of COVID change the way that the band worked and created music that you've now continued to use and brought through to LA Times?
Nothing's ever changed. I'm doing it just now. I started yesterday for the first time, and that's why I'm feeling a bit moody today because you go upstairs and like I said about the gigs as well, it's like it, every gig is like a new you you do your thing and anything can happen in it. And so I went up like yesterday and you sit and just fuck about and it's
Mm,
shit. It's I mean it's a what's it called? It's a numbers game.
mm.
You just have to do it and just work through all the shit songs. And I sit and go through this really boring, humiliating process of thinking because you think you're quite good because you've written a few decent songs, and until you go back and try and it's like someone who would be a really good swimmer getting in the swimming pool and not being able to work their arms and
Yeah.
going, what's going on? And then you eventually, if you do it enough, if you maybe write 100 songs, one of them stands out and you're like, oh, that was okay. And then bit by bit you gather these little things. So and then I bring them to the band like last year, or sorry, when we recorded LA Times, all the songs were finished, complete demoed from beginning to end. It was like there's an entire demo of that record,
Mm.
all lyrics, everything. And we go in the studio for 3 weeks and just present them to the band. They had the songs before we went in, but they never listened to them. They just can't be bothered. They're like, nah. But the good thing about being in a band for this long is it takes 10 minutes to work up a song, and that's I think really exciting. Everyone brings their own sort of gate to it, and then you record it, and hopefully it sounds better than the demo. And usually it does.
Yeah, excellent. Hey, when we last spoke, you told me you loved to have parody names and versions of your songs. Like my favorite was Wanking at the Window, which you told me about, which is great.
Yeah.
Has that tradition continued at all?
It's what was the last one? Oh God, no, wait a minute, let me think. Oh yeah, there's some really dodgy. I can't even say them to you because we get put in jail. We would get some of them. We'd get put in jail, or people would just be like, "Oh, I thought they were nice." My mum would be like, "What?" So yeah, it continues to this day, and I can't really remember because it's a studio thing, and if it
Yeah,
was that was like no, like about a year and a half ago. So no, I can't remember any of the,
but you
the
still do it,
names.
so that's good.
Yeah, yeah.
So let's talk about actual versions of songs. Is there
hmm
one song from your catalog that is a favorite of yours that you feel doesn't get enough love that you'd really love people to listen to?
Oh, good question. I think I was really pissed off about 10 songs. As a few things, I was cajoled into changing the artwork to that, and it was really annoying because it didn't reflect the music properly, the way I wanted it to look. I want it to be dead plain, and then you open it up and it's all like it's plain, but there's a lot inside of it. That was the idea. But then it was just like it was a I think the worst. I mean, they made me make the cover. I like took the photograph, did all the artwork and all of that, but I sort of did it grudgingly. I don't so much know about a song as such, but I think the video to a ghost, the one that I drew, was is like kind of amazing. When I look at it, I'm like, how did I do that?
Hmm.
I just like animated a 4 minute video from scratch in a month, and I see other videos that are animated, and I'm like, oh, so that sort of thing. I'm like, um, and when you hand it in to the management or the record company, they're like, all right, thanks. So can you do it? And you're like, whoa. I've just spent a month doing this. That needs a bit more love. And I would say any songs, I don't know. I think I don't really care that so much in that sense because I think songs find the if you like them, then you like them, and you'll never know who likes them. Uh, What was the song we played? I can't remember. There's a song that wasn't even a. There's a song called 20. It's a B-side going way, way back to the first album. It was like I think the one of the first songs I ever wrote. That there's that song and there's a song called Indefinitely on the Invisible Band that I think songs that are on the end of records or B-sides, people generally don't get to the end of records historically. But
Right.
that I think Indefinitely for sure, and this song called 20, all about teenagehood and becoming a not being a teen anymore and going into your 20s. It's a good song. It's a really good song.
Very quickly, what we do is we jump ahead to the future with a prediction. Fran, so finish this sentence for me. In 2026, Travis will.
Oh, that's fucking hard. In 2026, Travis will be in a very nice zone, writing like crazy, trying to find the next record. And I would say in 2027, hopefully we'll be releasing that record.
Excellent. Fran, thanks. Sorry for going over a little bit. I appreciate your time and happy to
No,
see you
not
in
at
Sydney, mate.
all. Yeah, thank you. Cheers, Troy.
Hope you enjoyed our chat with Fran from Travis. Don't forget to see them in 2026. It's going to be a fun time. Like the video and subscribe to our channel and check out maytherockbewithyou.com for everything else.